video to kind of show off some of the things I'm working on and that I got. So we'll just start with this shelf. This stuff isn't necessarily new. I've had these under glazes is what they are. You can paint them onto the clay body and then bisque fire them and then glaze over them, and they add color, like consistent color. So this red will be red, the blue will be blue. Whereas with like a lot of glazes and stuff, for instance, this thing here looks kind of like a gross gray color, but when it actually gets fired and melted, you end up with like greens and blues. So that's how most glazes work. So underglazes are a little bit different than that. So this is my little collection here. These are just some buckets that I have for future glaze making, and this is some blue clay I was working with. These are some of the more fun things that I picked up. I already showed that glaze. It's rated for cone 5 and 6, but they did say it could go up to cone 10, so we'll be throwing it on a test tile and seeing how it does in our kiln. But the pictures they had of it, sorry, cone 10 looks pretty good. These are called fluxes, so you put them on top of the glaze and they add like a drippy effect. So this one is a dark effect, this one's a light effect, and in theory it's supposed to look really cool on this one. This one's also for lower fire, but it's said that it can go up to cone 10, so we'll be trying that out. Over here I've got some red iron oxide. You mix this into the body of the clay and it makes it a reddish brown color. And then here I've got my granular magnetite. This you mix in and it adds speckles, and it's magnetite's like iron, and so certain glazes will react with the iron and the speckling will show through, and that's pretty cool. And so I got myself a big bag of that because I liked what was going on with the little bag. Then down here I've got a sieve for glazes, a rolling pin, safety equipment. Now that I'm going to be working with more dry products, that's what this is for. And then this is a trimming shield. So at the studio I was working on Brent wheels, and the splash pan on the Brent wheels is higher, and so when you put the Giffen grip on, the trimming actually stays in the splash pan. But I have a Shimpo wheel, which looks like this, and the splash pan is just shallow compared to the Brent wheels, and so when the Giffen grip goes on to trim, everything just falls onto the floor. So this is hopefully to help with that. Then down here I have my new and improved mason stain collection. So kind of like the underglazes, these are supposed to like be true to color, but whereas the underglazes you paint on top, these you mix into the clay. So that's how I got the blue and green snakes, as I mixed these in. But I stocked up on a lot of new colors. So this Bermuda green, got a French green, a lot of yellow, I've got some orange now, and then a red and black. So I've got some really exciting ideas. I really want to try making some rainbow stuff, seeing if I can get like a good gradient. So yeah, that's pretty exciting. Then, pardon the mess over here, got my wheel going through this today. So these are going to be test tiles in the future. And then this is my recycle bucket. So I can talk about the test tiles a little bit more. So I have the spinning to kind of help facilitate it drying. My AC was on, blowing at it. So the way it works is I will, when it's drier, cut about 1.5 inch divisions in there. And then you can dip it into the glaze. And that's why it has the little wells on either side, is that if the glaze runs, because I'm going to be doing some combos that I don't know how they react with each other, it will help so that it doesn't get on the kiln shelf, which would make my teacher pretty mad. The texture on here is because different glazes react to texture differently. Some glazes will just kind of flow over it and stay the same color, but others, when they get thinner or thicker, the color can be pretty different. So that's there, but I need to, it was still pretty wet when I added that texture, so it needs to dry a little bit more. Here is my vanity setup. This was an extra shelf I had from when my snakes were in baby tubs, but they're all up in stacking enclosures now. So this was just kind of sitting in storage, and it fits perfectly above the sink. These are some of the books that I got. I bought a couple of them, but most of them were gifts and hand-me-downs. These are different glazes. I have these two are already mixed up. My teacher made them for me, but these three are, I pre-bought like it was a commercially made glaze, so I just need to add water and mix them up. Down here I've got some of my new tools. This is a sponge on a stick, but like a fancy version for when I'm making vases and stuff. You need to get the water out of the bottom of the pot or it'll cause problems. But if you're like you want to keep the neck narrow and have it look pretty, sticking your hand in there can mess that up. So having something a little bit more narrow to finesse things. These are lid calipers to keep track of how big you're making a lid for something. If you're not throwing it as a single piece, if you're throwing two separate pieces, and that's something I've been wanting to try. And then I've got a bunch of kind of texturing stuff, so for carving facets and things in. And sorry, the lighting is weird because I've got my little plant terrarium over there. This is for compressing the bottoms of platters and dishes, like plates. When you're throwing, you want to make it flat and make sure that things are properly compressed. And then the assortment of trimming tools. Oh god, that lighting is bad. I'm sorry, guys. Another faceting tool. That'll be pretty cool. Oh, I forgot to show these dry glazes up here. I'm not going to be mixing up this one this time because it's kind of like one I already have down here. But this one is supposed to be kind of like a caramel brown with blue highlights. I was only going to buy 5 to 10 pounds of it, which equals about a gallon, 2 gallons of glaze. But they were trying to get rid of it. And so they talked me into buying all 20 pounds of it. So hopefully I like it. And then up here is my little Give and Grip, which has made trimming mugs in particular so much better. I have a little bit of a heavy hand, so things just kept getting knocked over while I was trimming. So this holds this in place because the previous setup I had just wasn't cutting it. So yeah, I think that's everything. Still some organization. Still got some things to work on. Oh, I did get my Glecko trap. It's way back in there set up. So that's why I can have pottery at this vanity. This kind of acts as like buffer number 1 for clay, and then the Glecko trap acts as a second one, so keep clay out of plumbing. So took some research and stuff how to get it to fit, because it was not designed for my vanity, but we got it figured out, and yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about things so far. So yeah, that's what's going on here. So see you guys later.